quiet? What's up with that? It's like you guys think we're about to start or something. I just came up here to let you know we're going to take a quick 15-minute intermission and then we'll start the show in 15 minutes or so. No, fuck that. We're starting this shit. You guys have waited long enough. Appreciate you guys coming out tonight. We got a lot of great comedians up for you coming up soon. I'm very happy you guys were able to find your way here. Obviously, directions weren't the best, and the Georgia Room B is not the easiest to find because I just learned they divided it into 3 different rooms when it's actually just one really big room. So thanks for coming out, guys. What's going on? Before I get started tonight, I just want to do a quick plug of our socials. So feel free, if you're curious about any of our shows for the next semester, follow us on Upchuckles, TSU, and really any social media platform, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. We even have a Facebook and a TikTok, I think. I think we just started that up. So, some cool shit going on. Feel free to check it out. So how you guys doing tonight? Come on. What the fuck is that? Yeah, I'm gonna ask again. How are you guys doing tonight? That's a little bit better. That's exactly what I like to hear. Cool. So, I wanted to start off letting you guys about a little problem that I'm having in my house. See, the shower downstairs is continuously getting clogged up because one of my roommates sheds like a dog. And so, once every week, the water just keeps filling up higher and higher. But I, with my massive brain, have found a solution to this. You see, the easiest way to drain the shower is to just take a plunger, put it right on top of the drain, and just go... And that usually gets the job done. However, this has led to a new problem in itself. You see, the only plunger in my house is upstairs. So once a week, whenever this problem is happening, I have to go upstairs, grab the plunger, and look the woman that lives there, or pretty much hangs out with us all the time in the house, in the eyes, and holding the plunger go, "It's not what you think. I don't take massive shits. I mean, like, unless massive shits are cool, that's not why I have the plunger. The shower's clogged." No, I didn't shit in the shower. That's not what's happening. You see, it's hair. The hair is clogging the shower. Not my hair. No, it's someone else. No, it is my hair. No, I wouldn't be just taking other people's hair in the shower and just playing with it in the shower. That would be a weird thing to do. You don't have to worry about me taking your hair or anything. That's not going to happen at all. And as I'm digging myself a deeper and deeper grave, and the look of disgust just gets worse on her face, I realized me being naked probably didn't help the situation either. Alright. Cool, off to a good start then. So, Truman State University. Woo! That's about the first time I heard woo after saying that. There is a professor. How you doing, sir? Thank you for coming out tonight. Really appreciate it. We love the support. But Truman State University, Harvard of the Midwest, we say. And I want to know who came up with that. Because Harvard, when you think about it, Harvard has like an acceptance rate of 5%. Truman has an acceptance rate of like, hey, we'll take what we can get. And see, Harvard students leave with like ambition and goals and like a future. Truman students leave with depression and regret. And sometimes even syphilis. Harvard of the Midwest. I really don't think we deserve that name at all. Because we have some really stupid people going to this school. I was in physics the other day, and one person asked, "Professor, what's the speed of dark?" And so I thought to myself, I really had to ask myself here. I'm like, I don't know what to be more offended by. The fact that they're in this class with me, or that I'm in this class with them. So it really got me thinking. You know, they're thinking about E equals MC squared, and I'm thinking, you might be mentally impaired. Harvard of the Midwest. I just feel like it's a title that we gave ourselves, because we just felt so bad about it. Because nobody knows what that means. You go out to California or something, and someone asks, "Oh, you know, what school did you attend?" and stuff. And it's like, "Oh, you know, little old tiny university, maybe you've heard of it, Harvard of the Midwest." And they're sitting there like, I don't know what the fuck that, what does that mean? And when you think about it, if someone from California or whatever comes all the way out to Missouri, and they ask you ask them the same thing, oh, what school do you go from? And they say, oh, little old school Yale of the West Coast. You have no idea what the fuck that means. Sounds fine, I guess. But I'm not gonna stand here and act like I'm not smart at all. Because in reality, I'm also one of the dumbest people that I know. You see, who here took the ACT? Right? Raise your hands, come on. All of you all taking the ACT here, right? Alright, so you guys know the reading passages of the ACT, right? This section, they give you like 4 passages, and what is it, like 45 minutes to answer all the questions? So, I suffer from a rare condition that's known as sucks dick at reading. And so, that is the technical term, by the way, and I should know because my parents talk about it all the time behind my back. But now, this is a huge problem when it comes to reading the section on the ACT, because as I was finishing up the very first passage on the ACT, that is when I got the notification that there's 5 minutes left in the test. So with 30 problems left, I had to guess on every single one of them. And you, sir, if there's 4 questions and I randomly guess on one of the, if there's 4 answers to a question, and I randomly guess, what is the probability that I get it right? 1 in 4, exactly. Now if I do that exact same thing on the next question, and I guess again, you know what that is? It's 1 in 16 chance I get them both right. Even after that, next one, 1 in 64 chance that I get all 3 of those questions right. So my odds of doing well on this ACT are dwindling with every single question. And would you believe that I ended up getting a 34 on the reading section of the ACT? Yeah, that's not true. No, I got a 12 on the reading section of the ACT. I got a 12 in a letter from the state of Missouri that said, college isn't for everybody. Yeah. Truman turned me down on my first time applying, so in my most dire time of need and stuff, it was comforting to know that even Truman wouldn't accept my money. So, but this experience has really stayed with me for a while, and I'm looking back on it, and I'm not very proud of it. And so I've been working on myself a lot lately, and I've even started independently reading by myself, which has been very nice. And if I may go off on a little tangent here, I think the current novel that I'm reading is just not realistic at all. It's a beautiful piece of fiction, and I highly recommend all of you read it. But it's just, I can't see it being realistic at all. And so, you expect me to believe that Clifford grew that big just because Emily loved him so much? I just don't believe it. And I don't know, it sounds pretty sketchy to me, and I don't know how it works, but when you think about it, that might just be the perfect excuse in bed. Be like, I don't know, babe. Maybe if you love me more, then it would be bigger. I don't know what to tell you. But, you know who Emily doesn't love that much in that book? Her fucking parents. Imagine you wake up one day, and now you have to buy a 100-foot doghouse, 4 tons of dog food, pretty much every day, and you have $36,000 worth of property damage, just because Emily threw a stick. I imagine that'd be a pain in the ass. Not something I want to live with. Like I said, I think it's very unrealistic, but still, beautiful piece. I highly recommend all of you check it out. It's a lot of life lessons that I've learned from that. But to be fair, I'm only chapter 1 of the novel, so I really can't judge it that much. I think the reason that I can't get so far invested in something is because I have just been diagnosed with ADHD. Very serious. No, I'm not glad. It's very, very serious. It affects 1 in, I don't know, probably a lot of people, right? I feel like we all here got ADHD of some kind. But ever since I self-diagnosed myself this morning, I just can't imagine how life is ever going to be the same. But in all seriousness, the way I found out about having ADHD was pretty messed up. I was in education class, which is a pretty ironic name for a class that you learn nothing in. And we were going over the symptoms of ADHD and how to identify when your students may be suffering from ADHD and whatnot. And as we're going through these symptoms, one of the first signs of ADHD is like constant finger tapping or like toes tapping and whatnot. And I look down at my fingers that have been tapping for the past 10 minutes and I'm go, hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right here. And then we keep going, and another sign is like hyperlinks by connecting two things that have absolutely nothing to do with each other. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, wait a minute. And there was a bunch of others, but by that point I had already started thinking about squirrels driving bulldozers, so I really just tuned out all the rest. And that was pretty much no bringing me back by that point. Anybody drive here tonight by chance? 1, 2, maybe, I don't know, 4. Some of you raise your hands, some of you clap, it's whatever. Yeah, at least one of you guys drive tonight here. I didn't. I had to walk here. And it's not because there's nothing wrong with my car or anything. My car is perfectly fine. There's just, there was a big ass spider in the dashboard one day. And so it's pretty much, it's totaled. I'm not gonna deposit back on that or anything. But I was driving down the street on a campus one day when I noticed this. And so I'm just driving down the street naturally, and I noticed it on my dash, and pretty much this is exactly how it goes. Sitting there driving. And I swerved and damn near jumped the curb before I hit the brakes. And I gotta tell you, I was scared shitless. Not just because of that homeless guy that I killed either. It was a very intense situation. And I really don't understand, I'm this 175-pound man, and nothing scares me more than these little 8-legged assholes that do nothing to me but just ruin my day. They live rent-free in my car, and they live rent-free in my mind. I can't stand it. Recently, I had a visual dream that's got me thinking about things. So, this dream takes place, of course, here at Trone. I was standing in front of West Campus, and one of my friends, Chris, comes up to me, and he says, "Hey Ryan, check out my new pet." And it's a little, penguin in a cage. And then all of a sudden I look down at this penguin, I'm like, holy shit, that's Skipper from Madagascar. Skipper, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, watch this. And then he says, don't let it touch you. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck does that mean? I'm like, okay. And then he opens the cage. And I think, well, that's probably not the best thing to do if you don't want Skipper to touch me, just to open the cage, right? And so Skipper, he comes out of the cage, and he looks at my friend Chris, and he looks back at me, and looks back at my friend Chris, touches Chris, and all of a sudden Chris is Skipper now. Now there are 2 Skippers. And before I know it, I look around and I am surrounded by Skippers from Madagascar, at least 1,000 of them. And so I'm running for my life. They're all chasing me down. I'm running everywhere please, I can't get caught. And then they all dogpile on me after eventually catching up. And I'm screaming for air as my arm is hanging out from these thousands of Skippers that are all on top of me. And right before I'm about to die, I take one last breath and I wake up in a panic and I go, why am I horny? So I learned something new about myself that night, and I've never been the same since. And so I would say that's just about all the time that I am here for. I would like to introduce you to our next comedian up here. Our next comedian is a med school dropout and now spends her time entertaining strangers. So everybody please give a big